Hi everyone, and thank you for joining again. This time I have this beautiful shoulder bag for you. That was the front, that was the back side, that is the back side. It has a fixed shoulder strap and this beautiful embroidered flap. As usual, please check out my video description for all the material details, and you will find the written pattern on Etsy and on my homepage. Both linked below as well. So we start with 32 chains, and then the first stitch of the first row will be in the third chain from the hook. So we will have 2 turning chains here. Then the rest of the row will be single crochet. This is how the first row looks like. Nothing special here. And on this side we also make 2 chains. But we don't turn around, but flip the back like this and work along the lower side of the foundation chain. And again you make single crochet here all the way back. So since we started with 32 chains, where we have to deduct 2 turning chains, we have 30 single crochet in the first row, and we'll also make 30 single crochet here. The first round is finished now, and the second round starts by doubling the turning chains, which means that we will make 2 single crochet in each of the turning chains. In this round it might be that you will only be able to reach the back loop of the turning chains, which is totally fine. But in the following rows you should work in the full stitch. So these are my first doubled single crochet, and now working the second doubled single crochet and finished the round shape here. And now we again go on the long side, where we make 30 single crochet. Now on the other side here we will do the same and also double both turning chains. So again 2 single crochet in each of the turning chains. And again, it's totally fine if you're only able to reach the back loop here. Then after finishing this side here, we go on the long side with 30 single crochet. Now in this way you work 2 further rounds. So you work one on the long side, then you double all the stitches that were doubled on the small sides here, and then go on with one single crochet on the long sides. And you make 2 further rounds like this. Now this is how it should look like, and you can see here that the stitches become a little squeezed together. So what we will do now is that we will mark the last stitch of the round, and we will work one for 2 rounds now, and always keep the last stitch of each round marked. Afterwards, this is how it looks like. Still have my marking here. And in the next round we will do single crochet first before we start doubling the stitches again. So we need 4 single crochet, this is also why you should mark the last stitch of the round, because it won't be so easy to see in the following rows. So 4 normal single crochet. Now we will double the following 10 stitches. So you make 2 single crochet in the following 10 stitches. So 4 single crochet, then I doubled 10 stitches. Now we make 36 single crochet, then we double 10 stitches again, and then we make 32 single crochet, and again mark the last stitch of the row. This is how our bottom looks like. From now on, you just work one rounds and always keep the last stitch of the row of the round marked. After 22 rounds, this is how your bag should look like. If you would like to make it higher, then just go on working rounds. We end the row or the round by making 1 slip stitch, then cut the thread, pull it through, and the last stitch of the round will be a fake stitch. So you pull the thread through below the 2 loops of the following stitch, like this, and then you bring it back to the middle of the current stitch. Like this. You will still have a height difference here, but in the end this will be covered by the flap, so it's fine like this. So I removed the marking on the sides, and to go on with the handles now, we will have to mark the start and end of them. So this is the fake stitch, this is the loop where the fake stitch was worked in, and after that you count 5 stitches and mark this 5th stitch. Then you mark stitch 23, so including the first marked stitch, this should be 23 stitches, and make sure that they're located next to each other. If this is not the case, just add one, move this a little around. Afterwards you count 34 stitches and mark this one here. So this area here has to be 34 stitches. And then on this side here, there have to be 23 stitches again. And again, double check if they are placed next to each other, and if not, move it around a little. And on the other side there remain 34 stitches. So this is how it should look like. Now we attach the thread again. Pull a first loop, then poke in again in the next stitch, pull a second loop to the front, yarn over, and pull through both of these loops. Afterwards, go on with single crochet. At the end of each row, you will again pull through a first loop, pull through a second loop, yarn over, and pull through all loops on your hook. This is what you will do at the end of each row. Then you chain 1, and at the beginning of each row, you again pull through first loop, pull through second loop, yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook, and then go on with single crochet. In total, you will work 9 rows like this, and it will reduce your stitch count to 5. So 9 rows. And there are 5 stitches left here. Now we will work straight, which means that we just work single crochet 1 on 1 for the next 40 rows. If you would like to make a longer shoulder strap, you just add further rows. This is our shoulder strap. And now we would like to have a straight edge. To straighten the edge, we always work in the upper and lower loops here. So this is the upper loop and make a single crochet. And then you poke in this lower loop here. Make the next single crochet there. Then in the upper loop again. Single crochet. Then in the lower loop here. This one. And you just go on like this along the whole handle. And here in the corner where we attach the thread, might be a little difficult to see where you have to poke in here. So I try to show it to you. We have these 2 loops here. This one and this one. So there you poke in and make 2 single crochet. But actually, if it's better for you to reach another loop, you can also use another loop. Most important is that it's that you get a nice edge here. And there's actually no need to use the exact same loops like I do here. So just focus on getting a nice edge, but I show you which loops I'm using here anyway. So I close my single crochet. And this one here. and close. Then you're on the edge here, and here I think it's clear where you have to work in. Just work one-on-one in all of the stitches here. So from the first skein, I don't know how you pronounce this word, but from the first skein, whatever, isn't much left, so I parked it there. And for the second side, I attach the new one and repeat what we already did on the first side. Then when you finish the second side, you will crochet along all of the sides with the new skein, and then repeat or go on the other side where you parked the skein. Then for the flap, I made 27 chains, 26 single crochet, and 25 rows in total. So 25 rows with 26 single crochet per row. So I made my chain here, and here we will as well make a straight edge and work in the upper and lower loops. Then in the loop of the slip knot you will work single crochet, chain, single crochet. Then you work single crochet along this foundation chain. Then in the turning chain, single crochet, chain, and single crochet again, and then again in the upper and lower loops. When you finish this, you have these nice clean edges here, and we end the round with a fake stitch in the first single crochet here, first single crochet of row 25. Pull the thread through below, and you will see now that I cut the thread pretty long because I will use it for the embroidery of the flap. Then bring it back to the middle of the current stitch. So this is our fake stitch to end the round. Now for the embroidery, these horizontal loops here show you where you have to poke in. First, you poke in the first row of these little loops. So when I say rows now, I mean rows of horizontal loops. Bring the needle and the thread to the front. Count 5 loops to the right and one row up. On the back side, you only go horizontally and vertically with the thread. So you go 5 to the left again on the other side, bring it to the front again, and then close the X in this loop here. So as I said, on the other side you only go vertically and horizontally. So I recommend to poke in there, and neighboring X's share the same loops. Then again count 5 loops to the right, 1 row down. Then bring it to the same loop like the other X, and close in this loop here. This is the first finished row, and as I said, the neighboring X's always share the same loop. So also the X's of the second row share the same loops like the X's with the X's of the first row. Then again, count 5 loops to the right, run 1 row up. This is where you have to poke in. Go to the right again. Bring the thread to the front. This loop here, and then close the X again in the same loop like the other X's. When the embroidery is finished, you just sew the flap to the back. Afterwards, we will connect the straps. So as I said, both strap sides were straightened, so also the skein that we parked, and we will start by placing them towards each other. And then make a fake stitch in this loop here. So I just placed the ends of the handle towards each other and checked which loop I needed for this fake stitch. This is how it should look like now. And now you just sew these sides together. Just go back and forth with the thread, then bring it down and cut it. On the other side, you also start with a fake stitch and then weave the thread in. The hardware is fixed by pushing the lock on the edge of the flap and then just fixing these little screws here. They are included in the package of the lock. And the lower part, you have 2 spikes here that you just poke through the back, place this little plate around them, and then bend them around. So this is how you fix the lock. And that's it. Your bag is finished. I hope you liked the tutorial. If yes, please give me a thumbs up and follow my channel.